What's up, coach? Have you ever thought about hosting a tournament? If you haven't, there's a lot that you need to know about in order to run an efficient tournament. Let me help you break it down. How we doing, coaches? Forgive me here. I'm in my classroom here on my lunch break. I figured I'd throw together something. It's been a while since I've made a video. And we just hosted a tournament this past Thanksgiving of 2024, and we've been hosting a tournament for the past 4 or 5 years now. And I've kind of gotten it down on all the things that we need logistic-wise and money and all that stuff. So I wanted to make a video and break down, all the things that is needed for a tournament to be able to run an efficient one. Okay, so there is a lot, and so forgive me if I'm gonna try and make this video as short as I can. There are some video examples that I have too as well. Okay, first of all, organization. Okay, to organize, and forgive me, I'm looking at my notes down here on my computer. To organize, first thing you want to do, decide if you want to host a tournament. There's a couple different reasons why you would want to host a tournament. And number one is, I think the biggest aspect is the financial aspect of it, the fundraising aspect of it. The fact that we host a tournament at my school, it's a 16-team tournament over 2 days, and last year we made about $4,000 profit off of it. This year we made more than that, about just under 5,000, profit for my program. So that's probably the number one reason why you would want to host a tournament if nobody else is hosting one in your area. Okay, so you're gonna wanna organize. First thing you're gonna wanna do, if you have decided to run a tournament, number one, can you get the gym time? Okay, gym time is first and foremost. If you can't get the gym time, it's pointless in running a tournament. So you need to organize gym time. And how do you do that? Do you have to pay for it? What time of the day can you have, gym time? Those type of things is organized, and all the things that go along with making sure that you can get the gym reserved for you. Okay. The second thing you want to do is once you've gotten the gym time locked down, and you've got a set time for you that you can use the gym. Now, can you get the teams? Okay, that's pretty important. It does come down to, it helps, I will admit, it helps to be someone who has been around for a while and knows a bunch of different coaches who can email and reach out and say, hey, we're running a tournament. Do you want to be in it? Sometimes when I first started this tournament, I would send out emails to fellow coaches or other coaches around in my area and just ask them if they would be interested if I was able to pull it off. And so I would get basically an idea of who wanted to be in, if nobody wanted to be in, or if I had enough people to be in the tournament. Once you've got those couple things down and you can understand, you have the gym time, you know you're gonna have enough teams. Okay, now you need to start worrying about the cost, the money stuff. Okay, how much is everything going to cost? Okay, I will say that the biggest expense that we have in our tournament is the referees. Now, depending on where you are, how much you're paying referees per game can vary, and depending on the type of referees too. If you're running a junior high tournament, the referees may not be as much, maybe like, I don't know, between $40 and $60 a game around there. But for us, for a high school AIA, they're roughly pushing like $80, $90 per referee per game. So how much is that going to cost you? The refs, how much are the referees? Are you going to pay your workers, or are you only getting volunteers, people to run the scoreboard, or people to take tickets at the front door, those type of things? The gym cost, is there going to be a cost involved with using the gym? Are you going to have a trainer on site to pay them? I think it was $35 an hour to be there, and security and custodial people to clean up after you. Are you going to buy T-shirts? Are you going to buy trophies? Is there going to be a snack bar? All those different types of things you kind of have to think about ahead of time in regards to what your upfront cost is going to be. Now, I will tell you that in regards to the referee, like I said, the referees are my biggest. For a 16-team tournament, I think I paid $7,200 for all the referees on all the games. So I mapped it out so that the entry cost for each team would cover that. So the entry fee for each team covered my refs, right? So I kind of worked it out that way. So normally what it should come out to is roughly $100 to $120 per game that the teams are playing. Okay, so in my tournament, they play a guaranteed 4 games, and for that it was $500 for them to play 4 games. It's roughly right around where you're going to get what you're going to pay for. So you should, as a team, you're looking to pay about $100 to $120 per game that you'd be playing in. And now that you have the gym time, you've got the teams, and you've got figured out how much everything's going to cost, what you're going to charge per entry fee, what you're going to charge for the door, like how much entry fee for the door, how much these parents or fans are paying to get in the door. And you kind of got to figure out what all of your different costs and how much you anticipate making. Once you've got that all together, now you can start moving into the logistics of putting the tournament together. Okay, so you've got your teams. You want to lay out a bracket. Okay, well, so what kind of bracket are you going with? I guess it depends on how many teams you got, how many games are guaranteed. Are you doing a pool play, or are you just doing a straight up bracket? It's up to you. If you want to reach out, I can send you my bracket that I use. I use 16 teams. I also, before, when we very first started, we only started with 8 teams. And so I have an 8-team bracket. And so we do ours 16 teams, 2 days. Each team plays 2 games on one day and 2 games on the following day, guaranteed. And so laying out the bracket times, it's kind of important. It kind of sucks to have the best 2 teams play each other right off the bat. You probably don't want that. You probably want the good teams on opposite sides of the bracket so that the better teams end up in the semifinals or finals. You want to set it up that way if you can. If you know the teams or know the coaches well enough to be able to do that, that would be much better. So you want to do that. The logistics of the tournament. Now, for me personally, I personally set up the tournament so we play a game, sit a game, play a game. I personally, as a coach, do not like being at this tournament all day long. I don't want to play at 10 o'clock in the morning and then have to wait till 3 or 4 in the afternoon to play again. Like that's a whole day thing, and I don't want that. So they come in, they play, and a game, it's hour and a half. Then they sit for an hour and a half, and then they play again for an hour and a half. So they can play at 9 o'clock in the morning and then play at 12. So, and be done after that. So then their day is halfway over. So the way I've set it up, the whole top half of the bracket plays twice before the bottom half of the bracket even starts. And so that's just kind of the way I've set it up, because I like it that way as a coach, and the teams that I have in my tournament like it as well. So the bracket layout is first. Are you going to have a snack bar? Snack bar is pretty important. Like for me, we almost didn't have a snack bar the past couple years because my parent group are volunteering for other things that I need, and I didn't want to stretch them too thin or need so much more volunteers to run a snack bar. But it's having a snack bar at a tournament. If you don't have a snack bar at a tournament, you're missing out on a lot of funds. So what I did is I outsourced our snack bar to another program. So for instance, the Palm team, Palm and Cheer at our high school, they volunteered and stepped up to run the snack bar. Now, I told them, as long as, for me personally, I'm gonna make enough profit on this tournament as it is. If they wanna run the snack bar and they can keep 100% of the money, I just need a snack bar to be run at this tournament. We're gonna have hundreds of people coming through the doors. There's an opportunity for them to make money. And it didn't even bother me that they were making or keeping the money. I just needed the snack bar to be run. So some of you guys can run a tournament and have your parents run the snack bar. There's a lot that's involved in that. But there's another profit stream too as well. But if you're gonna run a tournament, you pretty much need a snack bar because there's lots of people coming in and out of the doors. Not to mention the teams, the players, they wanna eat too in between games. So it's a real opportunity there to have that. You pretty much need that. Okay, trophies. Okay, what are you doing for trophies? For me personally, I just do a championship trophy and a runner-up trophy. That's it. And I'll get to more specifics on where I get the trophies here in a second. But trophies, are you doing an all-tournament team? Are you doing an MVP award? Those type of things you kind of have to think about ahead of time. How much those are going to cost? Who's getting it? How many are going out? You're gonna have to figure all that out too as well. It just depends on per tournament. Volunteers. Oh my gosh, volunteers is going to be the backbone of this tournament. To get volunteers, whether it's your players volunteering to help out at the scorers table or take tickets, or your parents are the backbone of any program. and have been a massive impact on my program. I would not be anywhere, our program, without my players' parents and their families helping out, and it's just been a massive thing. So getting volunteers to help out. If you're doing this, if you're getting volunteers, you're going to want to use Sign Up Genius, which is a website. You create basically like a sign-up sheet, and you send out a link to the parents, and they can get in, log in, create an account, and then they sign up for time slots. For me, it's people at the front door to take tickets. You have people at the scorers table, doing the scorebook and doing the scoreboard. I don't like to have, I'll say this, I don't like to have only teenagers at the scorers table. They're on their phones, they're not paying, they're paying attention to other things. So if I were you, I would definitely at least have one adult who knows what they're doing at the scorers table. The teenagers can help, with whatever it is, but I would definitely not just have kids at the scorers table. That's not exactly what you want if you're running a tournament. So volunteers, very, very big. That or if you're running a snack bar, you're gonna need volunteers for that. So there's volunteers are going to be the backbone of your guys' program, especially when you guys are trying to make a profit off of this. Another big thing is feeding the referees, or having some food for referees or the people that are working your tournament. This is another expense. Okay, so you don't have to do this. This is not something that you have to do, but it is definitely something that you want to do if you want to run an efficient, well-run tournament. For instance, like when your referees, depending on the referees, you may have them there quite some time. So having, a break room for them that has sub sandwiches and chips and Gatorades and water and stuff for them, completely separate room for them, as well as having, food for people who are working your tournament. For me, my tournament runs 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 2 days straight. So I got people there all day long, coming in and out or volunteering, and they're gonna get hungry. So it'd be very nice to be able to help them out, especially with referees. We want to take care of the referees. They do a big job, a big hard job for us, and taking care of those people who are working your tournament is really, really important. So that's an added cost, but we're just talking about like, pizzas or sub sandwiches or snacks or whatever it is throughout the day that they can eat, so that they don't have to worry about that. So now we're getting into details, okay? All these little tiny things that you probably don't really think about. So far you've gotten your gym time, you've gotten your teams, and you figured out your money and how much you're going to charge, and now you're putting together a bracket. Got volunteers, you got all this stuff, and now it comes to the logistics of actually running the tournament on the day of, okay? And things that you may not think of the day of, things that I'm just like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I'd have to think about all these little things. Okay, for instance, like printing out, it's very good to print out a bracket and have a bracket posted in the lobby or on the doors. Me personally, I like to have a big one posted in the lobby, as you can see right here. We post a big one in the lobby and we fill it out as it progresses throughout the day. So I've also seen teams that, they print out a smaller one and they just post them and they put them on the doors everywhere. It's just important to keep those updated so that parents can see parents and players can see when their next game is. How are they getting in the door? They're paying money. Are they getting stamped? Are they getting a wristband? Are they getting a ticket? How is that working? We do wristbands, colored wristbands, one color for one day and a different color for another day. So that's good for the day. They pay for 2 games at a time. So that's how I do it. However you do it is up to you, but you're gonna have to think about how that's gonna happen ahead of time. Okay, having a cash box on hand. When somebody's coming up and paying money. Some teams, sometimes you can get away with them paying with a QR code and they can pay online. That helps too. I wasn't able to do that. My school is not set up like that yet, but I have seen other schools do that where they, you scan a QR code and it allows you to pay for your ticket right there online, and you just show your ticket on your phone for entry. So that's one way to do it. If you're going to do a cash box, you're going to need extra cash in there too, as well, starter cash basically to have change for people when they show up. Getting score books, right? Having score books and pencils at the scores table for the people to keep score. You're going to need that, So I went into the sports store and bought 2 score books, just 2 full score books, because I knew we were going to use them up. Make sure you have pencils for the guys that are taking scores there at the scores table for you. To have signs up outside that say, whether it's a QR code or how much it is for the entry fee, to have signs to say, like for us, we put the Ox Gym is in one direction to point them in direction, so people who are new to my school know where to go, where the bathrooms are. So you want signs out for people to be able to see where they're going and where everything is. Another thing that I didn't really think about at the time was door stops. Like something as simple like that to open doors so that people can travel through hallways and whatnot without having to open doors is kind of convenient. So something as small as having door stops to be able to hold doors open, you just don't think about that. But those things were pretty valuable to us. So having water jugs at the end of each bench is pretty important. And make sure it's filled throughout the day, because players have their own individual water bottles, but just have a jug there so that they can fill up their own individual water bottles from there. Also a trash can too as well. You don't think about that stuff, but a trash can at the end of the bench for the players to throw their trash away, or bench water bottles or whatever gets thrown away, cups, whatever it is. Have a trash can at the end of the bench. You'd be surprised at how much you use it. So a water jug and a trash can at the end of the bench. Walkie-talkies was a big one for me because we have 2 gyms going at the same time. So having walkie-talkies for everybody at the scores table, each have one. I have one who I'm running the tournament. My assistant coach who's helping me run the tournament. The person at the front door has a walkie-talkie. The trainer has a walkie-talkie. My admin has a walkie-talkie, my admin on site. Just so we can all coordinate on what we need. If we need the trainer in one gym, if someone's got a question at the front door, if something's happening, or if a security situation, we can all kind of be in communication with each other with a walkie-talkie. Okay, think about this, bathrooms. How many bathrooms do you have open up, right? Who's gonna clean those? Right? I mean, so for us, we pay a custodial fee for the custodians to come in at the end of the night and clean it for us. That fee gets taken out of our money when we're hosting a tournament from the school. And then same thing with locker rooms. Are you going to provide locker rooms for the teams to use? If you have them, I don't. That's just one thing I don't want to have to deal with. And because my teams are not here very long, they just come play their game. They sit in the stands for the next game, and then they're up again to play a game. So we don't have and provide a locker room. Some teams do, some schools do. Great, cool if you want to do that, but that's just something that you're gonna have to think about cleaning up or watching. Okay. I want my players as volunteers. I want my players there throughout the tournament to help out with whatever it is we need help with. So I have them there, even whether we're playing or not. I want them there. And one of the things that one of their jobs is to dust mop the court at halftime. And I want, there's lots of teams playing. I want the floor dust mopped at halftime. You're not going to be able to do it in between games, because once one game is ending and another team's coming on, like there's not enough time in there for you to do it. But at halftime, as soon as halftime starts, there should be kids out there sweeping, dusting the court. That's pretty important. Some tournament shirts, right? Are you selling tournament shirts? Are you going to have a vendor? Are you going to have some? I've seen tournaments where they have a guy there who's got a screen printing press right there, and he's making shirts, and the kids can come pick shirts or whatever it is, and maybe I get a percentage of whatever he sells, or maybe you bought tournament shirts that you're selling for the tournament itself. So having vendors there is cool too as well. If you have a lobby, to have vendors, other people there selling stuff, because we're having hundreds of people come through the door. So maybe you have other vendors there, or food trucks outside. That's a good one too. Have food trucks outside. I'm gonna say that maybe if you're not running a snack bar, you should probably have a food truck outside so that people can get food. For instance, like we had a Cub Scout group sell hot chocolate in the lobby. They got to make a little bit of money, and the kids were all about hot chocolate. So hey, like that was something that we were able to provide an audience for them to be able to make some money off of that. So having some vendors there, selling some stuff, selling some shirts is a good opportunity for you guys, because again, like you're gonna have lots of people coming in and out of the doors. Speaking of having people coming in, if I were you, from one coach to another, I would let other coaches in for free. Okay, if another coach, let's say for me, I go to another tournament and I want to go and watch or go scout another team, I'm there just to scout. Like I'm not there to watch anybody. So if I'm very good about being cool with my other coaches. If they want to come in, or a college coach, coming in, they shouldn't have to pay, in my opinion. So I let college coaches, other coaches who are wanting to come watch, or if you have social media people, or we have the newspaper people, we have media people come to our tournaments, and we definitely let them in for free. So we want them, and they're going to help advertise for our tournament. So why wouldn't we let them in for free? Okay. So again, those are all those little details. There's a lot that is involved in running a tournament. It'll take a lot of your time, and if you have the volunteers to be able to help you out, it makes a massive difference. And this is the only fundraising that my team has to do. So we fundraise, and it pays for everything that we need throughout the year. It even pays for any tournaments and things that we do over the summer. So it really helps. It's 2 days of work, but it really helps in regards to fundraising. So, and if you run it well enough, the teams are going to want to come back next year. So that's kind of the idea. And luckily for me, I've had all of my teams want to come back and play in our tournament again. So I've been very, very lucky to have coaches who not only are good people, but they're good coaches, and they bring their good teams. And, so we would just want good competition, of course. We want the good teams to end up in the championship game. We want the championship game to be a good one. So anyway, those are all the things that I've listed out here, and I'm wanting to help you guys run a tournament, because a lot of people don't think about all those things that are involved in hosting and running a tournament. If you guys have any other questions, by all means, reach out. I'll be more than happy to help you guys with whatever it is you need. So that's it for me. Good luck to you, Coach.